Welcome back to the High Speed Garage, everyone. Thank you to Contrast Printing and Riverston Radios for keeping this garage open. Don't forget, you can find us on the socials, Instagram, YouTube, and make sure you join the HSG Pit Stop on Facebook. I'm today's host, Hayden. I'm here with the boys, Joel and Michael. How are we?
How you going?
Not bad, how you going?
Very good.
Very busy weekend.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Joel's looking very second-hand.
Very second-hand. I got home at lunchtime.
Joel didn't even want to have a beer for this recording.
Yeah.
And we're a day later than usual.
6 days on the beers hurts.
I got up to a bit. My house, the floor got repaired. There was a bit of an issue with the kitchen on top of the floor. Local
repaired, as in like, what sort of floor is it? Is it a timber floor?
It's
or
all
tiles?
floating floor. And the person that we bought the house off, she renovated the joint, and the kitchen was mounted on top, like laid on top of the floating floor. And what we found out is it's not I didn't fit it, so I didn't know. I've only learnt since. All the kitchen puts pressure down on the floor as the floor tries to expand and contract. The kitchen's locked it all in, so it's all bubbled up and there's big ridges everywhere. Local carpet joint, they did it all, and they come to the party and helped us out, and we just paid someone to come in lay some new stuff. So we instead of just doing that, we thought it was a smart idea to paint where the repairs were. So we painted the walls where the repairs were, and then all of a sudden you've got paint and everything's wet, and you go, oh no, we'll just paint that little bit. And then we paint that little bit, and all of a sudden the three-quarters of the house is already painted over the weekend. So if Taree had the live stream going, it probably would have been a bit slower, but they didn't, so I just kept on working. There's nothing to stop me. The 6 hour was on, but that wasn't as exciting as blowing boats up at Taree. How'd you go, Mick?
Oh, I was pretty flat out over the whole weekend. I was planning on doing some work because obviously I didn't go to Taree either. But on Friday night, I decided I'd go to the footy because the awesome Bulldogs decided they were going to make cheap tickets and $10 tickets for up in the top of the grandstand at the stadium. Yeah,
well, it didn't look like there was many people there, did it?
There was fucking shitloads. Actually, it was a record crowd for a standard home and away game.
What was the number?
So I think the previous record, which was like, I don't know, forever ago, was like 58 or 59,000 or something. And they had 65,305.
That's a lot of people in one spot, eh?
Shit, yeah, just for a good old home and away game. But the Good Friday Bulldogs and South game's always been a big one. I remember always watching that up at Taree. So it was pretty cool to go. That the cheap tickets was what sort of sold me, and because I know I can take the missus and the kids for not a lot of money. But the only problem with that is you still spend $200 on piss when you go there. So they're cheap tickets, but it's still not a cheap outing.
Yeah, they still make their money somehow.
But then the cool thing is because the Easter show was on after the footy game's finished, because it's an early game. It was like a 4:00 kickoff or something. By the time you're out, it's only like 6:30, and the Easter show's still cranking. There's shitloads of people still outside. There's heaps of food vans and ice cream trucks, all that. So we hung around there for another hour and a half, just checking shit out before we jumped on the train to fang back home.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to drive in there, especially when the Easter show and the...
No, it's way too easy on the train. The train station is literally right there, and it's free for the train, like with a ticket to the game. Yeah, your public transport's for free, so that makes that heaps easier. So anyway, that was me Friday night, and then Saturday I went down to Paul Vella's place and took the kids down there and the missus and his daughter and son-in-law, Max and Louise. They had their ski boat in the water, so the kids went for a little tube behind Max on the boat and cooked a little barbecue and had plenty of piss down there that night for dinner.
Got some kids doing cartwheels off the back of the boat?
Nah, because they're only little kids, so we only took them little. So Max was more keen to have my kids out there because they're a little bit older than his daughter, and his daughter's a little bit sceptical on going behind the boat.
Not trustworthy yet.
But with other kids there, she was keen on it, so that was pretty fun. They jumped on the back with, I think, his brother Bill, And then, a couple of guys went for a ski or whatever. I wasn't really into that, so I just stayed on the bank and drunk piss. And, yeah, they cooked a barbecue, which was nice for dinner, and sunk shitloads of piss. And then the missus drove home.
Love it.
They cranked the big smoker out?
Nah, they were going to. So Paul wasn't actually there for dinner. He was there when I got there, and he was there later on. But he went up the road where his hydroplane's sort of staying, and had dinner with the guys up there where the garage that it's staying in. So he wasn't going to be there. So Max decided not to start the smoker. Plus, it would have been a bit of a pain in the ass because my missus works on Saturdays, so we wouldn't have been able to get out there early to fire it up. But I do know he did ring me on Sunday. They did fire it up Sunday. He put a big pork butt in there, and did a pulled pork, couple of tomahawks. So yeah, I'm keen to go out there one day and have a little smoke off with them.
Yeah.
Nothing beats a
It's a mad big smoker, eh? You've seen it, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's massive.
nothing beats a couple of beverages with a whole heap of smoked meat.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
It's good.
And then, what else did I do? The rest of the weekend, I don't think I really did much. I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook from Tari, which we'll get into a bit later. And, but other than that, no, not much. Actually, the fucking Pope died this week. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, that was... And was that Sunday or something?
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. I thought no one needs to stress about that, though, because, that he'll be back in a few days.
Yeah.
That tends to happen around Easter time. Blokes die and then they just rock back up.
Another couple of days later.
He hasn't come back yet, so he's still on his way.
So, do you remember much from the weekend, Joel?
Yeah, no, we weren't. Well, Spun Night, we fucking had a fair crack, but because we were shooting, we didn't have much.
I had to be responsible with that, for sure.
So my weekend started Thursday. Finished work early, so I was like, yep, I'm out. So I left at 2:00.
Did you actually finish early, or did you just piss off like you did the other week?
Nah, I finished early. They knew I left this time. They go, oh, I've got a job for you. I said, is it driving to Queensland? He goes, oh, no. I said, righto, see ya. So, I drove 7 hours. I reckon it'd be pretty close to record time. 7 hours, 15 minutes to Mount Mitchell, where Mal and Tanya's McColl's property.
McColl with the chase race boat?
Yeah. I got up there bit after 9, so had a few beers with the boys, and then we went out. We got up early morning, Friday. Reese goes for a walk, shoot a couple of pigs, come back, breakfast, and then we started the day of walking. So, you walk through the bush, basically, big ridges and stuff in the paddocks, and you hunt the pigs out and shoot them as you're hunting them out, and there's people around the outsides on quads to chase them and shoot them.
Oh, yeah.
So we're getting up to this first ridge, and before we even got there, we're still on quads, and Reese has seen one, shot it, and it's shit, and run straight at me, and I've just stood up on the quad and just down, and just fucking hit it square in the forehead, and it still kept going.
Yeah, right.
And then James walks up and he goes, "Did you shoot your toes off?"
Was it a big one?
No, it's probably only about 50 kilos, 40 kilos, so nothing too bad. So, walking through there, and it's like you're going to war. Everyone's got shotguns and...
Yeah.
No one walks in front of the next person, do they?
No, you walk in a massive line.
I've heard some stories about Craig Bailey and all his camo gear.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was. Each morning, he's out early, wandering. He's on Pushy.
Oh, yeah.
So they got the property out there, I think 6,000 acres or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's out there on his Pushy riding the whole fucking thing.
Yep.
Fit bastard.
And, so we did that. Shot a few. There wasn't... Because I had a plague proportion pigs come through a couple of weeks ago, and they sort of had to do something about it. So they've got the helicopter in and shot about 500.
Awesome.
So it sort of hindered mass amounts of pigs.
See, yeah.
So they're still there, but walking through the bush and still they don't move until you meet a Hayden away, and you hear the rustle and you just boom, shooting at ghosts.
Yeah, right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can see them, and then you sort of run and chase them, and boom. But sometimes you get them, and then they run out. That's what they keep going. And then so we went back and then had lunch and come out again. And Simon Troy ended up there that time, by the time he got there. And walking through this this other sort of like a creek bed type deal. And the grass was probably neck height, head height. And it's like,
That'd be scary.
Like Fortunate Son's fucking going to Nam.
Yeah. Got your headphones on with the music cranking.
You're walking in there and it just rustles and you're just like, oh, fuck. That's scary as shit. I don't know why it's scary because you got a gun, but...
Yeah, but you still got a big beast looking at you. Like,
yeah. There was a few big ones in there too.
If you don't get it, it's getting you.
Yeah, the biggest one of the weekend come out of there. Mal chased it up the paddock in his paddock basher. But I got the shits with that. Not the shits, it started getting a bit wild. I was like, I'm out of here. Because it's sort of hunting them around this little bush track thing. And there was fucking bullets flying everywhere. I was like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah,
so I've won back, grabbed the quad, peeling up the paddock to get around with all the rest of them over a contour, and it's just big washout. And I've jumped on the anchors, which I shouldn't have done, and it's just hit it and boom, straight over the handlebars, landed on my head and shoulder. James is in the bush. Is that a big one? Is that a big one? Reese comes running over on his quad, goes, how's me gun? Like, yeah,
Not worried about you.
Oh yeah, and then muchness on Sunday. Mal wanted to. They got a dozer out, D6 dozer out there.
Yeah.
So he drove that through one of these creek beds, and that was. I should have took a video of it.
Just cleared it all out.
Just pushing the pigs out.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't walk it properly. So he's just driving his dozer.
Oh, that's a carton.
So he's driving his dozer. Oh, it would have been 2 Ks or more in and out. Trees are just going fucking wild. And then I got his little buggy bogged. Ran through a creek and just went bloop. That's number 2. And yeah, a few come out of that, but they sort of could run around. You couldn't see them, couldn't get in there. So,
and as long as you clear out a fair bit of it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. They like it. Them going up there.
How many did you get?
It got. I think Reese ended up with 20.
Oh yeah.
I think Bale's got 10. I think Carlin got 6. I think 5. James got 15, maybe. I don't know. They do a whole trophy, so it's inboard v outboards.
Yeah. So how many did you get?
I got 2, and that was Sunday night when we went spotlighting.
Yeah.
I heard Joel shot plenty of flies off them though.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. I was in the buggy with Mal. It's like that show Territory.
Yes.
You watch that?
Yeah,
they're hunting rigs.
Yep.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, okay.
Beat up fucking Honda thing. And I'm in it, and we're chasing this pig. I've got my foot wedged in the roll cage, gun hanging out the side, and just doing fucking Mach 10. And just, got beside the pig, and I'm just fucking 5 shots unloaded. And Mel goes, that is the worst fucking shooting I've ever seen in my life. Shot every fly off it and didn't even hit the pig.
Pig would have been stoked at that, though.
Yeah. That was pretty good. But yeah, and then we went on Sunday. Oh, no, hang on. Go back a little bit. On Saturday night, we come back and had a massive cook-up of Mexican. So,
who did the cooking?
Kempy and Holly.
Oh, yeah.
They had tacos, like a guacamole type bean dip and enchiladas, like filled the table.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It was sensationally. And then we cocktails. So I got a bit out of hand.
I heard about the cocktails.
They were just like rocket fuel. James was serenading Josie, his missus. That was hilarious. And yeah, so that was a bit of a slower start to the Sunday, but yeah, we still did all the same shit. But yeah, we had a seafood night as well.
Oh yeah,
on the Friday, because you can't have.
Yeah, you can't have.
Sounds like a fucking week.
Can't have
massive
red meat.
weekend.
Oh, it was huge. Did me bugs, squid, the way I normally do them.
Yeah.
Garlic, chili, sweet chili. Reese did some salt and pepper squid and some flathead fillets crumbed up. Bales had a couple of snapper.
Oh yeah.
Heaps of prawns and heaps too much. We ended up cooking more on the Sunday night.
Yeah,
because
right.
we just couldn't do it all. And yeah, then we had some Sunday afternoon. We finished a bit earlier so we could just sort of sit around and have a bit of a fun time. And did some clay target shooting.
Oh, yeah.
So as shit as I was at shooting all weekend, I come second in the clay target shooting.
Who won?
James.
Oh, yeah.
Only by I think he could beat me by 3 points.
That's your brother James, is it?
Yeah, okay.
Nah, McCall.
Oh, James. Yeah, Mal's son.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think he got 19 points, and I think me and Carlin got 16, I think. So you get a point. If you use 2 bullets to get it, you get 1 point. If you use 1 bullet, you get 2 points.
Oh, yeah.
So then we went through 5 rounds of that and put rocks out, so you do it in different stages around the the thing. There's a board up, so you couldn't see the shooter oscillates.
Yep.
So you don't really know. I worked it out because it was just sticking above, and you could just see it. So I sort of worked that out. But it still doesn't help you. It's still hard. So James, I had a first couple of shots, and it was fucking nowhere. I was like, yeah, well, that's pretty standard. But James said, you just got to follow it. So start up and look just down the end of the barrel and just shoot. And I fucking nailed it. So I got the first 3 straight up. And missed a couple. And and then we did skeet shooting. So you stand in front of it.
Skeet Lawson. That sounds all right.
No, so you stand in front of the thrower of a bit of a distance, and you're just looking out, and you say pull, and you're just staring into nowhere, waiting for one to fly over your head, whether it's like in a range of 30 metres.
Yeah. So you don't know. Yeah, you don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah. So it's fully unaware, and I won that. I got 6 in a row.
Yeah, right.
Good job.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. And then we went out.
Maybe you should start entering a fucking shoot competition. You might be able to go to the Brisbane Olympics.
Yeah, right. Wasn't that good. And then we went spotlighting, like old school spotlighting. Me, James, Josie, Carlin. Oh, in Indy come out too. So she was just sitting in those 3 were just sitting in the car, and Simon was in the car as well. And me and Carlin were on the back of the ute. Carlin got a few roos and shot a big mob of pigs, probably about 40 or 50. He missed a few of them, and then I had a go. So we just took it in turns. I think he had about 10 shots, and then I had my go, and I ended up shooting, finally got 2 pigs, and then fucking 2 roos, and tried to blow a couple of rabbits to pieces.
Yeah, there's not much left after you hit a rabbit with a shotgun.
I can't remember what else. We had Carlin brought Bailey's big gun. It's something fucking bigger than the 243. It's like fucking huge. Yeah. Like it rocked you. Like you could just feel it.
Yeah, right.
Pigs weren't getting up.
Yeah.
They just... Roo's the same. So, yeah. And then, then I drove... Then we left Monday morning, and I drove out to get my holiday going and went to St. Ava. They were at Southwest Rocks.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. How long did it take you to get to there?
Well, I got to Coffs. They were at Coffs Harbour. They went up. So it's only an hour from there. So I went into Coffs. It's 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then it's an hour 20, hour and a half, back down to Southwest Rocks.
Yep.
So she was a big day driving again. And sat around there and sort of relaxed a fair bit. Had a swim and a bit of a look around there. And then come home today and had a sleep for 4 hours. And you just got to shut up.
Well, we've got to show up to get shit done.
Yeah.
So, other than that, it was a good trip. Couldn't thank Mal and Tanya enough for letting us do it. Come up there and... Yeah. And I'll be definitely... Tariq and Gem, and I'm going back there next Easter.
Unless Mal decides he wants to go racing.
Nah, that's it. They won't run a Tari. That's just what they're doing now.
Yeah, radio.
Yeah. Vicky and Laurie will go back up there. They didn't go this year because her mum died.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
Busy weekend.
Yeah. That sounds like a pretty big
So
weekend.
who won the trophy?
Reese. So the Outboards won it. So they got that trophy, and Reese they do the other trophies for the most pigs. So we've got both of them. And we've got a high-speed garage sticker across the trophy.
Nice.
Love it. Yeah, I did see that photo. That was really cool. We've got a fair bit to talk about today. So just a quick thing on the F1. Oscar wins again in Saudi Arabia. That was another night race. Max Verstappen got pole the day before, and then off the start, Oscar got a mad run into the first corner, and then just didn't give Max enough room through the corner, which he beat Max to the corner, and Max just kept into it through those stupid late model racetrack things.
Yeah.
So yeah, he could just keep into it and stay in front, and then Max ended up getting a 5-second penalty. This episode is brought to you by Riverstone Radiators and Fabrication in Walker Street, South Windsor, specialising in automotive plant and transport cooling solutions. They can repair copper, brass and alloy radiators and intercoolers. Contact the office on 02 9627 4657. Local pickup and delivery service available to trade customers. For not staying back and staying on the track.
Yeah.
Bit controversial, that.
Yeah, look, I hate those sort of racetracks. Like, if it wasn't for that racetrack, Max wouldn't have been able to go through. If that was a
wall.
If that was a wall or grass or sand,
Yeah.
he couldn't have gone through. So he shouldn't have been able to get through.
Yeah.
Oscar did nothing wrong by holding his line to the corner.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have to give room. So realistically, it is what it is. It was Oscar's corner because he beat him there.
Yeah, right. Norris crashed out in quali.
Yeah, that was a big stack too.
He did really well in the race, actually. He so everyone started on the medium tyres except for Norris and Hadger, I think. They both started on the hard tyres, so they went to like 30-odd laps in the race before they had to have a pit stop, which and then so while everyone else had changed early after sort of 20 laps from the medium to the hard tyre, he'd changed like after like 10 or so more laps, like 30 odd laps. He changed from the hard tyre to the medium tyre, so he's got like a new medium tyre to everyone else's sort of old hard tyre. And he caught right back up to fourth. If he had a few more laps, I reckon he would have made the podium.
Yeah, no, it was good to see. Good to see Norris go all right, because that keeps them up in the teams championship. But Christ, it's good to see an Aussie on top of the world.
Absolutely. What's that? That's
Formula
three wins this year.
Yeah.
He'll be in top of points too.
Yeah, he's top of the points. Yeah.
No, by a bit of a gap.
I don't think it's much.
No, it's not much. No, because Max was just behind him, and Max was in P2, but Lando in P4. He's pulled back. I think he's on third now.
Yeah.
Because Max has been consistent.
But I don't think there's not much between the top three.
It's awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's really interesting. So a fair bit happened on the footy tipping this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got royally
fucked the whole thing.
We started a new round because everyone obviously Greenie won the last one, so this one was the first week, and I run the spreadsheet, so it's my tip is definitely the very last one. But Joel said he's waiting right till the end because he usually gets out first go, so he's waited right to the end for everyone else to put their tip in, and then whoever the majority team that was picked, Joel said, I'll just run with them.
Yep.
So a lot of people took
Melbourne,
took the Storm,
but they were shoo-in,
which was it's if everyone in the footy tipping, like in their normal footy tipping, 100% would have took the Storm. If you took bloody, who'd they play again? It was the Dolphins. If anyone tipped the Dolphins, you're a fucking weirdos. Yeah. Anyway, Joel's curse of getting out first round, Melbourne lost.
Omen and Wilbo
and wiped out so many people in the thing.
I wiped out 6.
It was funny at the start because as soon as he said, "Oh, I'm because everyone's tipped the Storm." As soon as he said, "Right, I'll take the Storm," Omen's replied and said, "Oh, that's all right, Joel. We'll all work together and get you through this first round, bud. You're all right." Thinking that Melbourne's sort of a shoe-in. And then there's like 10 minutes to go in the game and everyone's going, "Fuck you, Joel. You're an arsehole. Joel's so fucking banned."
That is so good.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked because it knocked a whole heap out and I'm still in.
I think we knocked out 8.
Yeah, so I think you took out 6 with your Melbourne and two dopes took Manly.
Yeah. Brennan and Udo took Manly, so they're out as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's step across to the some boat racing. It's great to talk about boat racing now. We've got this week. We've had Taree last weekend, and then this weekend we've got another one. So we'll talk about that one later. But the results from Taree this weekend, our mate Omen driving the Rastus boat. He got the chocolates for the Vic Curry. So very big congratulations to
I think
Omen.
I think that's the second year in a row for that boat too, for the Vic Curry.
Oh yeah.
I'm so bloody happy seeing them getting trophies, man. They're just, I reckon, one of the best teams to hang around. They're always got a smile on their face.
Yeah,
they're always
no
fun.
problems.
Always fun.
Just a fun bunch of boys. And, Omen driving it, and I reckon that's a really cool thing. So then Laith Brown from up North Queensland, he got the chocolates in the Bob Thurger race with the convict race boat. The Liberty Cup, Darryl Quinn with the Bad Influence boat won that, which is pretty awesome to see. And then in the King of the River, Troy Marlin with the Warlord boat. So there's some pretty good boats, pretty good trophies won.
It's pretty cool to see, you've got 3 unlimited displacement races there and 3 different winners.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, I think Darryl had a big hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, you got to enjoy the fact that he got the big trophy, the Liberty Cup. So it hurts that he's hurt something, but the fact that he got that trophy is
In the,
cool for him.
I think he's in the King of the River too, the GP 101 boat.
He had a hurt as well.
Nah, he dislocated his shoulder
Oh, shit.
coming around the second corner.
Yeah.
So
That's
he pulled
not
up
cool.
and he pulled it back in himself apparently.
That would hurt. Did anyone see Warlord have his big loop?
Yeah, I did. I seen the video of it.
He
Yeah,
tried to
come
fly
into
the
the-
big airplane.
Yeah, come into the
Coming too hot, need a couple of rollers.
Yeah, it just like skipped out of the water a little, and I think it's probably just let go of the fin a little bit and let it go sort of sideways, and when it's come back in, it's sort of just grabbed hold of rollers on the front and just swung it round.
Which was a big go round.
Yeah, it looks like he he had to deal with a bit of the hydro water there in that corner. It looked a bit rough.
It's a bit of a spectacle when one of them things turns around.
'Cause they're
Eh?
huge, eh?
Yeah, massive big boat to loop round like
that. We'll cover one thing
that. Yeah, there was an incident as well
on the
up at
Saturday
Tonery.
morning. The Vic Curry.
Two boats coming together.
On Saturday, Dean Barry had a fair bit of damage on his boat, on the culprit boat.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the comments on socials, and I sort of restrained from commenting on them because, everyone's sort of blaming one person, which isn't really fair, to be honest with you. I'm not sticking up for either one of them, and I'm not on either one's side. But there was no penalties handed out. Whether there should be or shouldn't have been, that's not my department. But there was no penalties handed out, so it's a bit sad to see everyone jumping on board of one person we don't actually know. And all the videos that I sort of seen on Facebook, they're all, at an angle to the track at waterline, and in my opinion, like I've said before, if we're gonna run these rules, which I think are ridiculous rules anyway, we need to have drones above the track,
to have drones.
because the drone you can't get it wrong with the drone. Where all them footages that I seen on the videos that I seen on Facebook, I could turn that into a model and put your phone on the side and look from the same view and make it look like they're in the same spots they were from that view. But then as soon as you go overhead, it looks like every boat's in its right lane and everything else. So you can't really pick anything from side angles. So to jump on and sort of bash people up about that's a bit unfair, I think. And like I said, especially with no penalties handed out. And I've got lots of questions about that holding your lane crap, because I've asked it before and it's got looked at like I was a fucking weirdo. How wide's a lane?
Oh, I think it's
a boat plus a metre, isn't it?
1.5 boat width.
Where's that written? It's not written anywhere, and no one tells you. I thought
it was just a club rule.
I asked at Melton about, I don't know, far out, it probably would have been 10 years ago. I was driving Quick Trip, and I asked how wide a lane was, and they just looked at me weird and then just kept carrying on with the briefing like I was an idiot. I was like, well, it'd be nice to know, because if I'm in a boat that's only 1.6, 1.8 wide against other boats that are 4 metres wide, which is it? Do I have to leave a boat width the same as mine, or a boat width the same as his, or is it just a boat width? Is it a boat width plus a metre, or 2 metres, a metre either side, or what is it?
That conversation is relevant, but when you want to adjudicate on whether the driver that caused the incident, are we going to say no? Whether that driver caused the incident or not, we can all have an opinion from the sideline. Unless you've got a drone footage, it's very hard to say
you can't
did this
pick
or
it.
you didn't do that.
You can't pick it.
Which I'm not saying that someone should get a discipline or not.
No, absolutely not. Well, we're not officials. That's why
that's up to the club to make that call. But I stand by the club should be running a drone.
Yeah, they must have a drone. That's the only way you can adjudicate on that rule.
I'm not pointing this towards Taree. I'm putting this towards all
any club that doesn't have a drone.
If you're running an event, you've got
a major event.
Your OD has a significantly easier job being able to go straight to the drone and go, yep, that's it. Like you can see there's deviations, like a boat will drift and stuff like that, and you can allow for that when you're looking at it. You're like, okay, well, you've blown that corner. You've gone 3 poles out. Clearly, like you've taken out those 3 lanes. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that over-the-top footage, it's very difficult to make that call.
Yeah, I'd go a step further and say it's impossible. And I'd prove that to anybody that wanted to sit down and listen to me for half an hour with some, a couple of little models to show you exactly how you could make it look good from a sideline.
The best one
still be okay on the top.
The best one I've seen is at Milton when they run the drones both ends.
Yeah, perfect.
And you get pinned.
Yeah.
And you walk up to the tower and watch it and you go, yeah,
Shit.
you got me.
Yeah, that's right.
No, if you want to pin a driver, they will not argue with you if they've seen drone footage. Not a chance.
No.
Yep.
Because they can clearly see it.
That was my biggest weapon when I was OD at Upper Hawkesbury. I had to have a drone at a major event.
Yeah.
You have to have 1 or 2 drones.
I'd even argue that...
I wanted permanent cameras there.
I'd even argue that even at a club day, the same rules apply.
That's right, but
same rules
you're
apply.
Not racing as aggressively at a club.
Well,
day
you're not, but there's potential. But that's where we're humming about. We're humming about people going to heaps of club days. If we're not pinning them for doing that shit at club, like they could go to 10 club days, and if we're not pinning them for doing that shit, they're going to just keep doing it, aren't they? Because they're not getting in trouble for it. So we should be having it at club days as well.
But then you've got the extra expense of paying someone with a drone, which club days it's not as easy. But realistically, on your entry in the club day, covers the price of the drone.
Easiest way to do it is just scrap that rule because it's shit anyways.
I like the hold your lane rule, but that's my opinion.
I'll throw another thing at you. I seen another video of a race up there on the weekend. It was only 2 boats. It was 2 hydroplanes.
Yep.
And you got to start in your lane, in your pole position. Mm-hmm. You hold that down the first corner and around, down the first straight and around the first corner. Those 2 hydroplanes had like
the whole river.
200 metres between them at the start line.
Yeah.
So that's not lane 1 and lane 2.
No, it's not. But it's probably also 2 hydros on the track, and then they're not taking up anyone else's room.
Doesn't matter. That's not what the rule says. Don't take up someone else's room. The thing is, stay in your lane. And that's why I asked how wide is a lane. Because if that hydroplane's saying, if the outside one's saying, well, here's lane 2, that gives it the lollipops every right to go out there when there's a hydroplane on the inside of them. Here's lane 2. I'm all the way out here at the bank. Everyone else has got to try and fit between me and the bank now.
Well, yeah, you've got to give sufficient room between the bank and the... Yeah, I know it might not be as a rule, I don't know, but shit, you've got to be able to...
The person on the outside
on the track
never gets pinned for changing lanes.
No, they're not going to because they're...
But they change lanes.
Unless they come in.
But they change lanes.
At Melton, you do.
If you go...
Yep. Brennan's been pinned a fair few times.
On the outside.
Yep.
I think the rule is you can't affect race boats. I didn't know.
No, it affected no one.
Yeah, rightio. And he stayed out wide.
No, come in. So he had room to come in, so he's way out.
Yeah, but
so they went in and around and he come in
on more
1 or 2 lanes. Didn't impede no one.
I'm more talking if you run wide.
Oh, yeah, righto.
Like if you're... Even when you're a couple laps in and, use a side-by-side, when there is an overlap via the rule book, when there is an overlap, you have to hold your lane around that corner. Mm-hmm. Both boats must hold their lane. The guy on the outside, I think I've probably mentioned this before on the pod, but the guy on the outside, he can drift wide as long as there's no other boat beside him, and he'll never get pinned. So when they come in together, they come in 1 and 2. lane 1 has to hold one because if he drifts out to 2 or 3, he's going to get pinned because he's saying he's dragging old mate out. So he's got to stay on 1, but the one that's in 2, he's by the rule book, he's got to stay on 2 as well. But if he goes out to 3 or 4,
no one's going to give a shit.
No one cares, and no one bats an eyelid, and that's better for him because he gets a better run because he gets to open up the arc of the corner and accelerate faster out of the corner, and that's why I think the whole thing's a load of shit. Anyway. We probably should move on before I get too agitated.
I was just about to say that. So I agree. We need to push more drone footage. So then, also the Mildura 100 was run.
Oh yeah, that's our first S1 S2 event.
S2 class. Yeah. So it's realistically like a bridge to bridge or a double dash. Well, no, just realistically, it's a bridge to bridge.
100k. It was 100k's.
The powerboat.
It's essentially the Mildura 100 just with no skiers.
Without skiers, but people up here that know of a bridge to bridge, it's the same thing, just in Mildura.
Point to point race,
which replaces their ski race because they're not able to run a ski race at the moment. The podium there was Mistress F1 in first, which is a local boat to here, the Daniel Galea from down in Pitt Town. Sapphire in second and Hell's Arsenal in third. So congratulations to those guys.
Yeah, well done. Well done on having a good, successful first time for those boats in our sort of congregation. Yeah. I've seen lots of videos on Facebook and it all looked pretty cool to me.
I hope
There's lots of updates going on and stuff. So yeah,
that's good to see. Right up. So we'll get on to the first round of the NDC. That's this weekend at Yarrawonga.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. We're all heading down there Thursday afternoon. We'll do the dawn service Friday morning.
When you listen to this, we'll be at the dawn service.
Yep. You'll be...
if you're listening to it the day it comes out, when you should be.
Or at this moment, you are playing two up with us. So the hot laps are planned for Friday afternoon for the NDC, but they're also running alongside the Griffith Cup. So the GP Hydros will also be running in that same hot lap session as far as the story is. That's the plan at the moment. Things can change. Then the NDC heats and the Griffith Cup will run on Saturday. So 2 rounds of the NDC in the morning. Then Griffith Cup run on Saturday afternoon. There's going to be a lot of...
lots of other support classes between all that.
Yep,
but
the AFPGPs down there.
The Tunnel Boat Series have got their run down there as well.
I think they might have the Australian Championship for the Superstock class as well.
I heard that, yeah. Yep. So then NDC final will be Sunday morning, and then Anzac Cup will be later on in the day.
It'll be latest last race of the day.
It is going to be the last race?
I think there is every other year.
Yeah, okay. So the Anzac Cup is the same sort of thing as Griffith Cup, but it also includes the tunnel boats as well. So it's sort of like the King of the River.
So take your big engines, boys.
Yeah, it's going to be... It's always a good race. Obviously, this isn't the confirmed program. It's not the final program. Things can always change over the weekend. So,
from what I've heard, the Griffith Cup's going to take priority because it sort of got left behind a bit last year.
Yeah, that's right. They've got to push that.
So if it's getting a bit late, it's just NDC's is going to be parked and Griffith Cup heats run and then go from there.
I think that's why they're trying to run the NDC first thing, very early in the morning, so they can get that stuff out of the way, so that anyone that wants to enter the Griffith Cup, don't have to worry about the NDC for the day.
There's more of their other club trophies and stuff too, like the Les Spears and all that sort of stuff as well. So
there's lots of big trophies down there. It's a massive event. That's why we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I heard the weather's going to be shit.
I heard
someone did tell me that it's going to be a bit ordinary
or possibly rough.
I'll just look it up.
Raining, hopefully not.
Yeah. So
do we want to do a little
teaser?
Tip on what we think's going to be who's going to be first, second, third in the NDC?
Well, my tip would be, I reckon, I'd sort of say between the Lay It On boat, which will be a 21, which is Tate Ramsey's new boat, Brett Layton's new boat, Tate Ramsey's new drive. So I think they're concentrating on the Lay It On boat this year over running the Reckless boat.
Yep.
They're trying to push that pretty hard. It's a brand new 21. It should be really good down there.
Yep.
I rate John Backer down there as well. I think he'll go really well.
Depends if they run the long track or the short track. So Yarrawonga's pretty commonly known for a long track, but last year the track was a fair bit shorter than it usually is. Yeah,
but I still rate John down there. I
still big wide corners.
Well. Yep, and I reckon Immortal's going to go bloody well as well. He's had a 12 months on that boat with a big block. He's got a high level horsepower, and he's just flipped the boat upside down and done some more work up underneath it. So I reckon those 3 boats will be the standouts. There's going to be some very fast boats. Everyone's going to be very good, but I'm sort of looking that way at the moment. What about you?
I don't know. I haven't really decided yet, but I pretty much can't look away from Turn It Up after what he did there last year. And, you know, they were the favourites to win the thing halfway through, sort of last year, but then had a
couple of engine issues.
Yeah, a couple of small engine issues and didn't get it done. So
I bet they're wishing they had hindsight from last year, because I think the engine issues there was a couple of little issues like wiring, stuff like that, like broken wires or something like that knocked them out.
The ones I remember was the crank hub bolt breaking or coming loose or something like that, and it losing the oil pump belt off it, which is also the fuel pump belt, I think. So, yeah, never did any damage to the engine, but always stopped it out on the track. So, yeah, they'd have to be tip number 1. As far as we go, 21 footers. Yeah, don't know. I think it might be an 18-footer weekend, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Depends if the weather is a bit ordinary, the 21 footers might come into it, but I'd have to say, yeah, you're probably on the money with Immortal as well.
Yeah.
It's always fast and up there.
Yeah, I reckon. I was on your page with laid on.
Yep.
It was quick at Windsor until they hurt the engine. And when they put Tate's engine in there, it was still quick.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was a bit rushed, so it hasn't really done nothing. But they've had a bit of time now to work on everything. But yeah, other than that, Dark Horse would be Turn It Up for sure.
Yeah.
After the way they went, they got another engine too. They bought Crossy's old engine off the Barry's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Small block, so.
Yeah, well, I reckon. Yeah, so I'll take those two, and I'll throw Destiny in there for a third place.
Because you don't want to pick up 21, do you?
Nah, I don't know. The 21s would be good at Yarrawonga, but I've just got a feeling it's going to be an 18-foot year.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling that the track will be short again.
Yeah. How'd you go, Joel? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I had lay it on and then Turn It Up. But for a third, it's hard to pick. I'd have to throw Immortal in there.
Yeah, I think Mark Gauchi's going to go pretty well down there.
Yeah.
I remember last year was pretty fast.
He doesn't mind the rough water in that boat either. So.
Yeah, it's a good old solid boat, that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Rightio, boys, we've got a couple more questions this week, so let's get into our first one.
From Callum from Cumberland Reach.
That's the one.
Let's play it.
Let's go.
Hey guys, love the pod. Just seeing who's going to win the Griffith Cup on the weekend, how they're going to get there, who's going to break down, who's going to be in the final. Cheers, guys. Love the pod.
Thanks, Tiny.
Thanks, Tiny, for that.
What do you reckon?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Tiny for putting in a voice recording instead of a written one.
Definitely.
Yeah, so it's a lot better when we can hear everyone asking their questions. So good job, boys. I really think that if White Noise can finish, I really think that he's still got the speed.
Harrow looked pretty good down there. He was at the AFPGP on the start of the month.
Yep. It was pretty impressive as well.
That looked quick. And he wasn't on it, I don't reckon.
And I'm excited about that because that means Troy Marlin went pretty well at Taree over the weekend. I know he had a spin, but that thing looked really fast. So you've got Warlord, White Noise, GP 101, and Grant Harrison GP1 boat. That's 4 good GPs going up there, going down to Yarrawonga. I think we're the winners here.
Yeah,
getting some bloody good boats going out there.
They've all had issues the last few times we've sort of seen them, like in engine issues. So
I think
hopefully that they don't this year.
I think Grant's changed his engine package, but too, don't forget.
Yeah,
He sold all his gear and I don't know what he's built, but
Yeah,
I think it's a new engine.
Yeah, well, he used to have his old man doing all the engine stuff, and since his old man's passed, he's got Brett Nidri on the job, so Brett does know what he's doing. But it did have issues last year, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But in all honesty, I don't think Grant will get beat if that thing stays together.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's
I think it's a good boat.
I think he's an excellent driver. The boat,
he's done 6,000 more laps than the rest of them.
Yep.
When we're in New Zealand, we've heard comments. New Zealanders are would smoke our Aussie boats over here and all the rest of it, but I don't think they would, from what I've seen.
I reckon Ken would fucking leave him dead.
I don't reckon he's got any chance.
Yeah,
and I reckon that's why they won't come. They claim they won't. They don't want to come because we're allowed bigger engines than what they are and whatnot. But I don't reckon it's got anything. I reckon they know they'll get towed up.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon they're just too busy with America.
They've got heaps going.
I'll tell you why I reckon Harrow would smoke them every day of the week. Their corners are way too wide over in New Zealand. If they got to turn as tight as they would here, they'd go out the back door.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
100%.
I did hear a rumour that one was trying to get back over here, but obviously it didn't happen.
Yeah, I heard that.
Bring him
too,
out.
Yeah.
The Kiwis listen. He's listen.
Yep.
Bring your boat out. We can't help you financially, but if you need somewhere to store a boat or something like that, I'm sure we could sort something out with a shed.
Yeah.
So yeah, who's just tipping?
I'm gonna go Grant, as long as it stays running.
I'm going to go Howard. Well, I like Ricky and Grant Healy, but I sort of have another connection. The same bloke that screws their engine together screws my engine together, so I'm gonna stick with that.
Are they running? Did they have an issue? I heard something about they had a head gasket issue at Taree.
Had an issue. As far as I know, they're fixing it all up this week, and they'll be heading down there. So
yeah,
sweet.
right.
I don't think they hurt anything. I think they just had an issue.
Yeah,
I think it was breathing heavy.
It's done that for a little while.
I'm gonna put a logboat into second place.
Which one do you think?
Lay it on.
Hell,
Not
man.
entered.
Even though, isn't it?
Not on this list I've got in front of me.
Oh, he didn't go in the Griffith Cup. Okay. Yeah, right.
They might be just
That
trying
might
to
be
concentrate on the NDC too.
It might not be a
up to date one.
up to date.
Well, it should be if they're entered for the NDC.
Yeah, well, true
I
that.
think
Because he's entered for the Les Spears, so
What about you, Joel? What are you thinking for?
Maybe he doesn't want to run against hydroplanes.
I think just on pure experience, I'd have to go with GP1 if he can help. Like you said, if he can keep together in that.
He's like the Jamie Whincup of GP Hydro racing, isn't he?
Pretty much. And then you'd have to go Warlord for second if it stays together.
Yeah.
And then,
Yep.
don't know who you'd get. Maybe Rival for a third. Or
That'd be
Hurricane.
cool.
Hurricane.
Yeah, that'd be cool as well.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see.
Boxy run.
I shouldn't say it'd be nice to see, but it'd be. I'd really enjoy it if a logboat won. I
would love that.
The only chance I think a logboat's got to win is if the hydroplane stops. Yeah. So I don't want to wish that on anybody. No. And if we do happen to get four of them hydroplanes running around side by side for a couple of laps,
that's awesome.
It would be really fucking entertaining. Yeah. So,
rightio. So we've got our second call in.
Thanks for your question, Tiny.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks for recording it.
Right, so we've got another recording come in.
Do we?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play it.
G'day, lads. Just want to start off with a big thank you for taking the time out of your week to entertain us for a little bit, whether we're driving to work or at work or whatever it is. I've got a question based off trophies. What are your preferences on trophies? Obviously, one of my favourites I got from Berry when I raced there in the 25s was a nice glass one. I thought that was probably one of my nicest ones I've got. But then I also got one of the composite plates. I think Nudo's got a couple as well from Melton, where they sign printed it. And just wanted to see what your thoughts were on what you'd prefer to take home. Not that people really care, but I thought that might be a half decent question anyway. And another good thing is I like to see an Aussie at the beach fully clothed in jeans and shoes. So thank you, Joel. Pretty humorous to look at. I thought it was funny anyway, and so did the rest of us. Yeah, see you at Yarrawonga. Head 'em up.
You.
When was that? That was
Thanks,
when I was
Justin.
up there the other week. Remember I said I was up there?
Oh, yeah.
I was down the beach, and because I was riding, I didn't want to get undressed and put boardies on because I was only there for a little bit. Just wandered down and I was just standing around.
Good job, Juz. Thanks for
Thanks for
dobbing
that,
him in.
Juzzy. Well, I'll start because we run a dad's race every spectacular in September. So we set our.
Can I just stop you for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
Just to Juz, we thank you for doing your voice recording, but it was clearly raining where you were. You could hear your wipers, bud. Turn them off. Pull over. Don't use your phone while you're driving.
No, keep them on because we can put shit on you next time as well.
Anyway, carry on, Hayden.
I was actually, when I was listening to it, I was going to comment on that. So thanks for bringing that up because I didn't want to let him go with that. Yeah, so I like the glass, the real big, chunky, heavy glass trophies. We get them for Dad's race every year, and I reckon they look awesome.
Yeah, I do. I do, like Juz said, like those boards. They print up a photo of your boat and what trophy you won. They're pretty cool. They're nice to hang up around.
They're from that weekend too.
Yeah, photos from that weekend. Yeah,
good photos from your racing.
Yeah, it's not. They're nice bits of gear. In saying that too, if you like Chris Pugsley and have a shitload of trophies, you'll have to start lining your house with them.
I wonder if we can stir Brad Hammond up with the contrast printing. See if I can stir him up to do a Saturday night job for Dad's race next year.
Yeah, possibly. They are cool.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, they probably are one of my favourite looking trophies to win.
They are pretty nice.
In saying that though, one perpetual trophy that I'd really like to win, just seriously, just based on the look of it, is the Stuart Doyle. Have you seen that?
I know that I have, but I can't recall what it looks like.
That's a beautiful looking trophy, that thing. I'm not sure whether it comes out or not. It might stay at the St George Motorboat Club, but it is a great looking old
Is that
trophy.
a big cup?
Yeah. It looks awesome. That'd be one I'd like to win. Just for that, just to look at it for 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I probably wouldn't get to because I'm pretty sure it stays at St George.
What about you, Joel?
I like the like those pewter mugs that Trojan was doing for a little while.
Oh yeah,
The mug, like the cups.
yeah, they were pretty cool.
Like a big Stein glass sort of thing?
Yeah, they were sort of just like a mug, not
Like a
big
beer
as big
mug?
as a Stein. Yeah, like a coffee cup mug type deal
Yeah, rightio.
in the pewter.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. I remember when I got my first one, I straight away tipped me can of JD into it, and I was drinking out of that all night from then on. So
it's nothing
yeah,
like
they
that
would be
trophy.
cool.
That sounds good.
It's something it's useful.
Yeah,
It's not just going to sit on your shelf
Yeah.
and collect dust.
we did get shirts one year, or for a couple of years, I think, at Raymond Terrace when I raced club days up there. So when they hand out their club trophies at the end of the year, instead of giving you trophies for winning your series for the year, it was a T-shirt, and it had your boat name and your name, and it had you won the 5.2 litre series for the 2013 year or whatever.
Okay,
it
so
was.
you don't get it. You don't get it on the day. You get it a couple of days later or a couple of weeks later or something.
No. So this was like the club point score over the whole year.
Yeah.
So that you have
Pretty
your
much knew what was going on.
well, you get all your points over the year. Then the club has like a presentation night whenever they do that, and then everyone got them then.
Yeah, it's pretty good shirt. That's a pretty good shirt to get.
Yeah. So yeah, like Joel said, something that's a bit useful. Like I've got trophies still at home from when I was a bloody junior, and they're not out on display. They're just tucked in boxes. But
I threw a heap of mine away.
Yeah.
Just because, what's the point?
yeah, they're just like big chunks of timber or something like that. And if you hang around the sport long enough, you do eventually get a couple of wins, a couple of places and whatnot. And before you know it, you've got a shitload of trophies just taking up a shitload of room.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is nice to have ones that you can use. That's kind of why I like the ones that Juz sort of mentioned, where you can hang them on your wall. They're still there, but they don't and they're quite big, but they don't take up room like sitting on a shelf like your normal sort of trophy does.
And it's a photo of your boat.
Yeah,
So it's not like it's just a
not just a trophy that
trophy
someone's
that
got to
says
go
first or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, Juz.
Yeah. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for sending it in. Radio.
No more questions for the week?
No, that's it. That's it for this week. We had one of them. One other question came in, but that was answered a couple of weeks ago. So we had a fair bit going on this week, and we might do some more stuff over the weekend at Yarrawonga. Just keep an eye on the socials.
Lots of planning for stuff to do down at Yarra.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff going on, so don't forget, find us on the socials, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Jump on that HSG pit stop when you can, because I reckon we'll pump that through the weekend. Try and push some more videos through and some more, just more community conversation.
If you find some stickers that have been placed around the country, take a photo and
take a photo.
Take a selfie. There may or may not be a prize in it for you.
Yeah,
for the best selfie with a sticker if you see one.
There's a few between here and Gondawindi and Southwest Rocks.
And I reckon there's going to be a fair few on the way down to Yarrawonga.
I've seen there was a nice one in the public toilets under the Harbour Bridge too.
Yeah, I made the Harbour Bridge one.
Yeah, no, we've seen that. Radio.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great week, guys. See you in Yarrawonga.
All right. Catch you later.
Bye.